be so hot. He was already used to that type of time, but now it's real. It's halfway through the day. Surprise type factor plays are going to be the most impactful. It's about being consistent and making sure that no matter what happens, stay resilient, protect your teammates, and make it towards the end, all the way to the start zone.
Three-way chest fight. Big Axe is up in the way. First rifle for Elise, and he takes out both Caster and Nico in record time. That is.
Have you played every card in the book? Have you played every option, every strategy you have? Has it all been employed this weekend, or do you have something else? Are there anything hidden that you can reveal now to go ahead and solidify your final half? Because ultimately, in the end, we don't want to see any regrets. Look at this. Crispin Never 5 jumped all the way to the top chart. Can we just talk about how incredible that is, like, on its own?
Granted, last game, Ritual and TK did make the end game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the 2 Elam points every single time. It is 50-50 contestation, so it's so tough, but we're doing so well with it. And it's not just one game where Ritual and TK make it all the way to the end monster. There's multiple times these guys have been in end games. So Evify and Chris missing a bunch, but still making big money today.
Yeah, making some great placements so far. They have a real chance to go ahead and earn something substantial. But hold up. Let's get to Bryce and crew up top. They're at 90 points or so right now. Not too bad. All things considering, almost approaching the middle of the pack for the tournament. And again, just keep in mind, if you're seeing some new names and faces, a lot of these guys are making their first FNCS appearance here today. Naves and Aaron, of course, being in that conversation. Bryce and Dawson, you know, they've been here. They've been around this rodeo once or twice. Maybe that's why they're leading in points currently. But still, a great day of celebration, a weekend worthy of note. Let's take a look at Bryce route. He's managed to turn this fight around in his favor.
Distraction so precise even midair. We'll try to heal up, put all the pressure on Arnason. He's going to be able to handle it for now. Naves and Aaron want to get right back into this house, find a little bit of a space of defense. But look at Arnason with the pull as well. You cannot run, you can't hide when this duo has you in their sights.
This is what you show up for. Pick up your highlights, pack them up, and take them in the luggage to go. Nasen will be able to do just that. Nicely done and executed there. I'm sure he'll be happy to watch that one back later. Users Eskakuga managed to stretch out their early game contested fight against Tahi on the other side of the wall along. And this has kind of been the story of day 2. They've really slowed down. So with that, let's jump over to Tragics and Dom, a team that has also been fighting in the early game, but this time here on the western side. You can see it was a huge to Chris. We were just celebrating how well they were able to play, but they didn't see this coming. This is why I talked about what other plays you have up the sleeve. That's one of them.
Yeah, the big thing about these early game fights is that, I get it, you know, you can win them and get used to them, and they do give you points. They also make a lot of noise, and other teams can rock in who are struggling on the boards and pick you up right after the fact. So you have to be fast on time, move out, also win the fight. It's almost impossible every time you're contested. Still very impressive if teams do rock in. And once again, the tie up top, 212 points for 2 teams. And past that, Peterbot and Bila 1 point behind.
Absolutely incredible to have them this close in points here. I couldn't have called Booga and Miro jumping back up as fast as they managed to do it in just 3 games. Better. But look at that. That is the story here. And then you have, again, Clicks and Duke, who have managed to jump up there as well. Just somehow, some way, 193, the huge win last game, puts them way inside this chance here to do something huge. But let's take a look at the leaderboard for average placement. Not only have they managed to find elims, these teams have been so consistent. All of our top 5. Peterbot and Bila having the worst average placement, but somehow maintaining much of a better score off of just elims alone. So I don't know which way it's going to swing today.
Yeah, it's their day 1 setup, so we're just having so much success in hunting down people mid-game, having enough elims and refreshes to start their end games hot. And at the end, if you're picking up elims, it's going to be huge to keep boosting up your placement. It's just a very risky strategy, so you might lose out on a few games. The start of today, Peterbot and Bila just haven't made it too deep and towards the end game, so gotta make sure you're there every single time. Mem and Avery, a nice try for a comeback last time. It bumps them up and keeps them in 5th. It might feel like they haven't moved anywhere, but to hold your spot, you have to have impressive games back to back to back as well.
Well, actually climbed up just a little bit. Remember, Jamper and Hamzo were above them, and last game should have been the end of Avery. He was taken out early with the, of course, that ambush plan. They turned that into an end game. I don't know how they did it. We're going to have to go back into the footage there and review that one, because just talk about an incredible comeback. Talk about being resilient and playing extremely smart and executing when it matters. Miro and Bugha playing the ocean side right now. This seems to be a really tough spot that they're in. Not only were Costa and Zeus somewhat ready for their strategy, I think they've adjusted after the last 3 games here.
A lot of the times, Costa and Zeus, the people who are fighting and shooting Miro and Bugha right now, will choose to stay very, very north in this desert, look to go towards the next zone. When the desert pulls a zone, when it's towards the south side, they can explore more, come down to Bugha and Miro's home and take the fight to them. So that's exactly what they do. The game plan for Bugha and Miro will have to switch. They'll have to move down, right, and try a different way to play Fortnite this time. The Yamzo Jamper also can't really surprise much people at the Rave Cave. They'll be moving way past them a lot faster too. Every time there's a south zone on the map, the majority of POIs will be changing and moving faster. A lot of them are a bit more mid-map and higher inside the map. So here it is, down and right puts Bugha and Miro up against Blake and Vert. If they do manage to take them out of put down pressure, that'll slow down the whole lot.
This game is looking like the revenge of the teams that Miro and Bugha have been farming for surge tags as they've all collapsed inwards towards this general area of Chonker Speedway. Look, and the zone is here, so there's no reason for Zeus or Costa to go, but Miro makes a mistake, hits the tire there, loses all his shield, and now forced into his metal. He tries to get to the build to survive himself as Ghost Blake and Vert also sweep around the side. That's going to turn into something very, very interesting here shortly.
Sometimes it's good to have a home zone, but if you can't leave home and you're just trapped, seeing the same things every day, you can't even go outside, can't do much in terms of living your life. It's going to be tough for Bugha and Miro to move out of Chonkers and stay safe.
Edging Acorn farming tags onto Cold, but let's get back to the action that matters here. Our first place team of Bugha and Miro. Now, defensively positioned here inside the building. Also notice how much they had to heal. They are in the worst position we've seen them since game 1 of yesterday's kickoff. Bert's going to find a couple tags. Not enough to really initiate anything here. He doubles back to the side in another angle. And it's like Miro's just letting his guard down and being outsmarted right now. This is, again, the first time they've had any kind of resistance like this.
I like that follow-up with the tire, too. This is so... I just don't think, with how most of these games are going, pulling up north that first day, as you mentioned, Monster, the patterns they were used to. They're not expecting this much of so many teams moving right to them and taking revenge, as you said. Trashy and Rise, though, now in their natural habitat. Is this their final comeback game?
True that. There's an opportunity here for them to jump back into this. You only have 3 big games.
They were a second-place team, Monster, on day 1 at one point.
They were definitely playing consistent. Today's been somewhat of a struggle for them. Falling a bit early is again, that momentum that you lose out on can change your mentality. And, you know, a lot of these fights may feel insignificant because players can heal back up, but think about how much time you lose, that you have to rebuild your material counts, get a little lucky and find more shields and health to take into the later games as well. It's not that simple. As you start to slip behind, it really becomes more and more difficult as that clock rages on in that bottom right corner. Hamster and Fatch, you see, also positioned in first place because, again, they are completely tied here coming into game 9. This has been a 2-day tournament. I want to encourage you all as well. Just check out the past games. Yesterday's first 6 were incredible.
Absolutely. It's where some of these teams built up their base onto how they are today. Some crucial moments on day 1 might be the reason Pam still fast, Peter about Bila. A lot of the teams who are trying to come back too might just end up winning. Lawrence and Paper were very good in the first half of the first day's games and denying pressure, picking up a few mid-game elims. And right now, when there are box fights available, for some of the stickiest players that deal the most damage, so hard to take out. Seems like they have more HP than everyone else. They take so much punishment and just don't go down.
Paper and Lawrence have really been reaching for the stars here. And they've managed to continue to stay consistent enough to remain inside the top 10. Meanwhile, Bang and Tahi survived their job. They're walking up. They got Aviv and Donnie inside. Aviv and Donnie, although they have been playing quite the crazy weekend here, they're at 14th, really pulling it all together.
There's no way this works. There's just no way. It's like I'm watching a cinematic Fortnite trailer for a new item, you know what I mean? That type of thing just crouching up right next to a big base. Tahi Bank finally discovered, though, even Donnie, they don't get fooled.
You know, sometimes people probably look at the trailers like, no, where do you get this gameplay from? It never looks like that for me.
From the FNCS, yeah.
You haven't tuned into an FNCS yet. The clips come directly from here. These are the fun moments that you wait for, that you tune in for. Aviv and Donnie get punished, though. A big shot there, armored wall. The most crucial of defensive items get used, and they only have a single one left, so Donnie wants to branch out, give himself a little more room to work with. Bank and Tahi start to slow down now. didn't really anticipate Chimp and Spade to walk into this fight, but now a little too many teams here, so they do have to be careful on this disengage.
Right now, we're talking about so many top teams. One that we failed to mention is Aegis and Kanata. Where are they? Well, I found a magical map, and I'm going to hand it over to Mini Miner. What are they up to, Mini?
They're in zone. Hallelujah for this team. They've actually pulled a zone. Thankfully, it's a south zone. And this is what I want to look at. How are they adapting? How have they changed their strategy? Of course, they're no longer in a north zone. It's now a south zone. It's right in their back garden. They're actually using this really, really well. They're using the natural elevation that Greasy Grows offers, of course, with those buildings and, of course, with the mushrooms that are nearby as well. Trying to tag as many teams and players around as possible. Getting that Storm Surge done as early as possible. What else I noticed was Kanata and Aegis are actually split up whilst doing this. Although they are, in the zone, in this south zone, they're still splitting up, trying to maximize the tags that they can get, whilst just being really, really close to each other, but not quite in the same box.
They have the zone, they control space, they control time, and are doing so much damage. Thank you, Mini, for the magic. At the same time, though, Monster, it's a very good point he makes. The fact that they have zone, their biggest weakness has been rotations. The fact that they don't have to rotate is going to be huge. And right now, Miro and Bugha up against one of their late game weaknesses looks to be Clix and Duke, and the fact that they play those same layers. And they're right beside each other on the boards as well. They'll go head-to-head, but won't actually resolve the fight.
And it's crazy, though. You have Dom and Tragics, a bubble team on the outskirts, Knifer and D-Roller, a team that has nothing to lose listening to this go down as well. And that is probably the worst concoction of teams that you have around you, because you effectively open yourself to everything that's inside the melting pot, all in one spot. Teams at the bottom, the middle, and the top, each of them will react differently. So you have all those elements. That's such a tough spot to be in. But on over to Panther and Thatcher, who are also in a desperate situation now. 130 damage below the surge here. They will have to heal. You have a lot to sustain, but so many players will have to fall here. They're very far from safety. They will have to fight shortly, but the rotate matters. 20 seconds in order to find some tags. Otherwise, they will be forced into a box dive situation.
Don't want to have that. Or maybe they do, because that first game, they really jumped right in. Put about a byless box. Might be trying to set up a trap. Maybe this was the answer last time. They were low on surge.
Damn, man.
Thing is, though, man, they're really good at interrupting a third party.
Why not
just being a third party, interrupting a fight and having that type of situation right now.
Look at your health, bro.
Pam still fakes right, follows him towards the backside.
I'm telling you, bro.
Towards the box. There's so many teams
one
in the same
dust splash.
situation. Inside Storm from 100 damage now down to 223.
You
This is
just
going to
need
be
to just
desperation.
right now.
Fatch deleted, taken out. The pressure of the tie. Too much to handle. They don't move as fast as the previous games. Pump denied access to Pamsto's body for even more shots.
Oh, you don't need to kill somebody
before he goes down. Surge on one side, two players on the other. They're following. There's just no chance.
Fatch actually hit a huge shot right now. He might have just taken out the player down low. He does. Teo is hurt. Pump is now left to nothing. It was close.
Son,
you
should mend this.
Finish it off for a moment there. I thought he was going to be able to do it. Pamsto will fall to the hands of Cold there with the big tag, and all of a sudden now Pamsto and Thatch, our French-Canadian favorites, are out of the competition for now, sent back to the lobby. That will hurt. They will have to sit in pain right now as they wait it out, and they have now lost the chance to break away or keep up with the lead of the others. Duke and Clix are happy about this. They will have an opportunity now to close that 10 or 15-point gap or so.
I mean, we talk about it, and they just flicked from third to fourth place. So they have that chance to rise up. The thing is, though, they really want to make sure they do it patiently. There are some people running out of patience at a time. Jack takes down Byla.
Byla's going to fall here. That's going to definitely spell a story for us if he gets the full finish, but for now, it's just a knock. Meanwhile, Duke has a problem. Two teams left and right, not too far away from safety. Clix is going to lose all his HP. Gold is going to come in and drop him, and now another team inside the top 5 has issues on the horizon here. Clix gets finished. Duke is by himself. Can he pull the story off? Can he pull the clutch? But no! Gold will win that as well in a 2v1. Nosball's not even here to back him up. He just finishes off.
Clix and Duke. That's who he finished. That's just so big from Gold. Huge shots. Way deep in 30th place team, affecting someone in the top 5. And that's 3 teams back-to-back who were tied, who were so close to podium status, who had it. who could have ran away with it, away from the competition, was stopped in their tracks.
At this point, where is Booga and Miro? How well are they positioned to do something with this game? Because last we tuned in, it was not looking good. They were next to Clicks and Duke, and every other type of team you can ask for outside the Chonker Speedway making their way to this rotate in this zone. Teams being Vert and Blake, Knife for D-Roller, and then of course the rest. For Edgy and Acorn though, they're under pressure here.
Definitely under pressure, but they have not had a window like this. We'll tune to the other side, the opposition, as to how they're looking at Acorn and Edgy. And I'm looking at them too. This is the game that they can climb back. Armored wall pressure from Talia and Bank. They're desperate. Here's a second one. Here's 10 more seconds of farming. I don't think you guys have the time for this one. The zone's starting to tick for 5 on the left side is Tahi. Trying to break into the box once again, but it's metal wall. It's not going to be possible to rain through. One taken out. Kazoo Fishy going for the next challenge again. That's so much loot. Another POI that they can basically just grab off the ground in terms of a loadout. And Edgy takes it away.
And the most important thing, they actually pick up 4 more armored walls there. So all the armored walls they used was great, but they get to get even more. Take a look at the replay. One of the most important ones. This is where Byla is down. Peterbot gets chased down. 6 HP and then finished to the hands of Jock and company there, swinging their way to that other side.
We were so eliminated the top 5, but it's time to flip the coin and look at the other side of the top 10 right now, because now everyone from 5th to 10th has a chance to rise up. Make it forward towards that 200-point spot. We just saw one team, Acorn and Edgy, have that window and dive straight past the Pain, Commandment, and Avery. They've taken lots of bludgeoning, punishment. Now they can also rise.
Booga, Miro, Commandment, Avery, Acorn, Edgy are all the teams in the run right now to continue to rise here. Meanwhile, Ghost, Blake, and Vert survive that early game rotate. Vert's extremely hurt here. They're trying to actually see what they can muster up as far as the loot goes there. It's not much, though. Nothing found, not even worth it.
Look at the stretch they have as well to make. Every time we've seen a team in this position, I mean, just saw Panther and Fast one, they didn't make it. Pitabon and Bila as well, same situation, did not make it. Clicks and Duke, same type of stretch. That 70-meter, 100-meter type of run you have to make. Even if you're the most healthy in first place, it's tough. Vert's at 1 HP. He can't actually back up now. It's only
damn. Behind you, bro.
Vert, just
You
drop your
that
mask
from
for Blake
behind.
and let him grapple to the new zone, because you are running out of plays right now. It's not looking good. Miro and Booga have eyes on this team here.
Oh,
this is revenge
jeez,
and
that was
hold.
Booga?
You rotate
Booga
into us,
shot
well,
him
now we
once?
get to rotate in front of you and hold you out here.
Not even that, you take us out a few games ago, you deal damage to our bodies towards the end as well. That next game, we're hunting you down. Miro and Booga, one of the best spots to be in. I can't really focus on for now. Once again, the entire lobby even. There isn't that much congestion in any box. If you're not on Surge, you don't have the options of a desperate box fight.
That was a nice shot from
Everyone's
Booga,
metal
to be
too, so
honest.
you're not going to be able to beam any walls. It's just Jack who has the opportunity for one right now. And with Nosh by his side, there will be trades inside the box. So maybe we'll reign supreme in that one for now. It's the only fight really happening. Acorn and Edgy also part of the business, so 6th and 4th, 2 teams that really want to just stay away from each other and rise together are forced to clash.
Commandment will find another elimination as well in the meanwhile. Jeffrey Yamza, though, I mean, they're playing with house money here. They don't have much to work with. No shields, no HP, and much less in the inventory compartment. Meanwhile, Avery and Commandment have managed to find their refreshers here to position up in the mid-game, and they're inside the zone. They're just above the surge threshold. Just 5 players here separate them from safety.
Oh, damn,
They're
they're in
still
the
looking. They're
circle,
not
aren't they?
content with being in this position
They're
just
in
yet.
the circle.
The question is, from everyone else who's left in the top 10, who wants to be first? Booga and Miro is still on the board, but everyone else is frozen in time. Asian and Kanata will not have an answer to that question.
He
This
just got
game,
eliminated.
once again, taken out before even getting to half and half. Kevin Avery up against Jack and so many other players up inside their own boxes are having their own party overall. Taco, Chewy, he has to watch his friend go down. That's just tragic and unfortunate. Horrible to watch. 50 damage below that surge. Just need one more shot, but not, and Chucky will not allow it to happen for free. Absolute disaster for so many teams everywhere. Ghost and Blake finally go down. DT Rise and Trashy from 10th place.
That was a big field. What are you
It's really
doing?
the story of the bubble teams. The opportunity to get back into the conversation and hop your way on into top 10 as we are approaching the final games of the NAE's finals weekend here. 2 days of competition, 2 days of struggle, happiness and pain, everything in between, the emotions of playing through these lobbies here continue on. But now, in the end, so far, Miro and Booga do have the opportunity to jump away. Avery will find another one, and finally now, that will be their second elim here onto Chucky.
almost at that 200-point range. They're about 15 points behind. Well, first place was at the start of this game. Focusing on all the bubble teams, but look at the infamous Bugha and Miro for the moment. A red tag around their name. If you get another flyby, Rhythm and 20 will be up top looking to control the game for now, but Bugha and Miro are one of the only teams who are inside that top 3, that tie.
Oh, you don't see that
survive.
high.
They can push this lead so far, have not had an opportunity. Yes, this has been part of the pack so far, so if they start to gain the lead in game number 9, they can win this entire tournament with that momentum.
Absolutely. Acorn and Edge are in that conversation as well. 5 Elans have closed the gap as well to put them on up to that conversation threshold. They're just 5 more away from Bugha and Miro, who haven't picked up a single one, but they want to change that. Avery Commandment, finally now, we've seen them round after round looking for high ground, but an opportunity did not present itself until here, until now. They actually go up way sooner, and this is outside of the zone pool. They were dead center, and they said, you know, let's go for high ground here, and we're going to build all the way out. Talk about a bold strategy, literally playing for the victory here, playing for first place.
Game after game, they wait for the zone to pull to them. 50-50 goes the other way. This time, they grab the game by the throat, try to choke out every other player, and it's getting constricting. OMG, me too, Edgy, right below him. Rise wants to also get all the way towards the top. So many teams desperate for that sunny spot on high ground. Cold, though, down below will be in his natural habitat. Finally, with 7Z up against that front portion of the zone. Down towards the backside, everyone like kicks. There's going to be a bounce back, and now they are the center of attention. That's where the spotlight is, and Avery covers that spotlight with a huge bunch of shade. Up top on high ground, there's a 2-layered tarp that's reconnected. It's going to be impenetrable. But Bugha and Miro are focusing those players up on height. Commandment losing his shield for the moment. They're looking for an opportunity to get some control of this game. DT Rise pulling towards the skies. Trashy also coming in from the backside. It's a high ground retake, and it's a disaster for Avery and Commandment. They're trying their best. They're using so many mats right now, but keep in mind they actually had to use half their builds to get to this spot. Bugha and Miro look for a chop potential possibly to take down Rise from the bottom. It's a third-party situation that's spanning 15 layers from bottom straight towards the top in the clouds. Trashy now left alone. What can he do?
He has to play this one out, and that was the worst-case scenario of all games, of all teams to go for height. A great one attempts it, and it does not work out, and now everyone is left to pick up the pieces on the low ground. Champer continues to fight on. This is the 3rd elimination as a solo Jamper's managed to pick up here. He has continued to earn himself points, and he is working his way to the top 5 spot. But hold up, there is so much more at play on the high ground as Bugha and Miro there too. Trashy still lurking within the build and now completely out. Acorn will find Jamper. That story is going to end here, and Acorn and Edgy are continuing to fight through from 5th on up to 2nd, and now they fight for 1st. Miro is hurt, no heals on the other side. The peanut butter edit was great. Acorn fakes him out, and down he goes, but the body picked up to height, so someone else is taking home the loot. It's not going to be for free.
Bugha and Miro now set the same box side by side. They've had some very big premium battles, and now it's up to them to pick up the scraps. Avery and Commandment have held on, but how much fuel do they have left to keep this domination on the lobby? Bugha's just cut off their oxygen. He's picking up every single elimination. Pickaxes from the right side. Desperation from the side of 7Z and Cold. They take apart opposition on the low ground. They's not going to be able to survive. Edgy also now down. Miro and Bugha have a blockade, stopping height from having any conversation towards any teams down in the dirt.
6 Elans for them. Who Fishy and Cassie are in the conversation. Avery's down. Commandment's by himself here. We've seen Commandment clutch up before. He takes out Miro. Bugha's now a solo too.
They swap places. A huge U-turn. Bugha now has to maybe put down that
Only
pressure.
4 builds.
Commandment has run out of mats completely. So many teammates and players in front of him. Can he find one of the best sides to be in?
Solos.
All in. He's got no mats either. Look at every single team. Bugha in the best spot to be in. Cease alive this far. Cease. Crashes. Cold picks him up. 5 elims for the boy, and he's in his natural habitat. Another home. Bye-bye, Kaz. Hello, says Bugha, though, as he goes for the next shot. No builds. Has to mantle. Has to use movement. Treating the weight. 2 mats might make him a champion in this game.
You couldn't ask for better. Solos in the Cold continues to earn his stripes. Down goes Commandment. Cold versus Bugha. The Cold comes in. Bugha will get crushed.
No way!
Shot, but he follows up and wins in the end. Bugha and Miro do it again. They break away with a huge lead after that game there, and it's going going to be 8 elims separating them from the rest.
Cole takes out every single person on low ground. A chill at the bottom of the lobby. But Booga, just too hot, takes the game.
The icy winds of cold from the low ground will come through and sweep
Go,
things up. If you didn't have your
victory.
coat on, the fireplace wasn't ready. If you weren't cozy enough, we saw what
Booga.
happened there. Cold will eventually overtake it. But take a look here. We have to run through this moment one more time. Booga and Miro coming
Booga
to this top
and
10
Miro.
teams, and they just start putting on a highlight reel. Look at this swing to height here. He swings around the opposite angle and then just plays it out. And ultimately, honestly, right there, if Booga would have tried to exit, it would have been over, but he fights back.
Finds a tree, that one crucial mat, just gives him that ramp, gives him a pedestal, and makes him shoot towards the stars. One of those teams who were tied inside that top 3, now just shoot way past everyone else in the lobby. How far did Booga and Miro go?
We'll have to find out. Game 9 is going to be an iconic one, and honestly could be the defining moment for Booga and Miro, but we'll find out. Let's send it on over to Kelly and the crew.
Booga, with 3 years of terror, showing up that he is still the champ right now. 5 solos at the very end there as well, but I love what Booga did. He went up to high ground and he let Cold, with ice in his veins, take down everyone else in the low ground.
I mean, Booga just played that so well. We saw Booga and Miro there. They were a duo at one point during this end game, and eventually Miro, unfortunately, did go down, but we've seen it time and time again. The solo clutches that this duo can perform, they're just otherworldly, and I love the fact that Booga instantly goes for the win as soon as he sees Miro go down, right? He can probably tell that there are so many solos left that he knows that he has the potential to win this game, and going straight up for the high ground puts him in the best position against all of these solos. I mean, this is just great. The likes of Avery here, he gets that elimination, the refresh is there, instantly realizes that, hey, I just took out one of the members of the high ground team, it is now mine. And then, like Kelly mentioned, this 1v1 situation, this was not like easy. Like, he went down to 24 health right there. Cold almost had an amazing run, but Booga punches out, and Jacob, look at this lead now.
Oh my God, they're flying high in the sky right now. And even though I have
37
the previous
kills,
piece about
Lim.
how solo clutches and what it
Damn.
does to affect their game, at that point
Who
in
is
time,
that?
they were second
Booga?
place. Without that solo clutch,
No,
they would have dropped to
Demier.
5th. They would have still been in contention
Big
for this top spot that they have now.
Miro.
From going from a 1-point difference between
Yeah.
first and third to a 34-point lead for Miro and Booga. And look at some of the teams that are jumping up our
Miro and
leaderboard.
Booga.
Acorn and Edgy, Commandment and Avery, having Pamsto and Fatch that was in first place, now dropping down all the way to 5th.
Yeah, I think Pamstone and Fatch had around 212, maybe it was 211
Yeah, they didn't get
in the game before, and they have not gotten any points coming into this game right now, so they do fall very far down the leaderboard. But I've seen it happen throughout the day. Every single time one of these top 3, top 4 teams have gone down, Acorn and Edgy have had a good game, and this game right here was no different. They are now sitting in second place, and listen, yeah, they are.
I have to go to work. 12 minutes left till item shop change. Damn it. Alright.